Well, that was recorded at the Norman Petty studio that was at that time on Main Street down Clovis, Main Street down there. There's an old movie theater. It's called Mesa Theater, back when it was a movie theater, and Norman Petty back in the 60s turned it into a recording studio. And so anyway,
That is not where he recorded Buddy Holly's hits? Okay.
No, Buddy's stuff was recorded. He had his original studio out on 7th Street out there, where Buddy Holly made all his records.
So how did this LeAnn Rimes thing come about?
That came about through Lyle Walker, who was part owner of the studio at that time. He was living in Dallas, and he had been, I guess, going to some of the shows, Johnny High Show and this and that down there, and seeing LeAnn Rimes, who was very young at that time, 11 years old. Anyway, he had talked about bringing her out to Clovis and making an album, because he was, very, blown away by her talent. So anyway, so Lyle made a deal with LeAnn's dad for us to make some demo tapes to send out to them to see if they liked the sound that we're getting there at the studio. So we demoed up, I don't know, 3 or 4 songs, just like basically backing tracks, some songs they sent out to us, and sent them off. And next thing I was told, they were coming out to work on the demos and
To add the vocals.
Add the vocals, yeah. Anyway, so gosh, I can't remember exact date. It was 94, seemed like the springtime, 94.
Mm-hmm.
LeAnn and her parents came out, very, very nice folks. And we had a great time. We assembled a band, which was basically our members of our home cooking band that my wife and I had at that time, and had for several years, a country band that we played around here regionally. We assembled, Brad Billingsley on drums, and Paul Goad, Gary Beavers, Chuck Rippey, gosh, my brain's going on me. There were some other folks that helped us with that here. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so we started recording, and about halfway through the day, Wilbur Rimes liked the sound, just, said, we're going to go ahead and record this weekend, and we're making an album. So after they were here for half a day, they determined that they wanted to go ahead and proceed with the album.
Yeah.
So anyway, we recorded that weekend, and I don't remember exactly how it went. They left, and I think I continued, adding some acoustic guitars and overdubbing this and that, and they came back another weekend or two. I think it took us about a month to finally get those finished up. The song Blue was the story we heard. It was written by Bill Mack.
Right.
Radio disc jockey from Shamrock, Texas originally. Bill had some other songs, Drinking Champagne. Seemed like maybe some other ones that he had written. But he had his kind of all-night trucker radio show. Mm-hmm. And anyway, the story was that he had written the song way back in the early 60s, and that Patsy Cline was going to record it, and this was shortly before she died in the plane crash, and so she never had a chance to record it. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I mean, best my memory is that LeAnn, they said that, Wilbur thought, well, he listened to the song, thought, that's okay, but kind of wasn't that interested in it. But LeAnn listened to it, and what I heard, this story I heard, was that she was very, I thought it was a really cool song. So anyway, we did record it during those sessions, and we finished up the album, within a month or so. Took it down to Austin, Texas for mastering, and then they put it out on the Norva Jack label.
That's like a local label?
That was Norman Petty's label.
Oh, okay. And how did it catch on nationally, do you know?
Well, what I understand is that it, did real well over in Dallas area, and that, that Mike Curb had got a copy of it, and they got interested. Curb Records got interested in it and was very impressed with her singing.
Well, it was a very unusual song for that time. It was very sort of old-fashioned. And I'd like to, if I could go to Tony Byworth, he could maybe speak to how out of context it was, or sort of surprising revival song for that time.
I felt it fitted in with the times, actually. I first heard about Blue when I was in Fort Worth. I was driving around and listening to the radio and heard this song Blue come on. I'd never heard it before. I thought a real country song. But at that time, country was going a bit more popish, and so to hear a song like Blue, which was really hardcore, was wonderful. And members, whoever was doing the show, I don't know what program station I was listening to, but he said, this is a new singer, LeAnn Rimes. She was 13, 14 at the time, and I thought, they have this interview with her, and I thought, it doesn't sound at all like her age. And I heard she was playing Billy Bob's that night, so I went down to see her. And it was a great show, and I thought, it's a new star in the making here.
And if I could add one note, the writer, Bill Mack, I was in touch with him. I met him one time in Santa Fe, and I was in touch with him. And my friend here in Clovis, who I'm going to go visit after I see you guys, was a trucker.
Yeah.
And heard him play one of my songs one night, and decided I was famous after all.
Well, Bill Mack was known as a trucker's DJ, I believe. He did a lot of trucking vids. And he's still broadcasting, I believe, is he? I think he is. I think he's still broadcasting. But anyway, I was told the story that Bill Mack had written the song for Patsy Cline originally.
I didn't know that till today.
Yeah.
Certainly it was of that era sounding.
Yeah, so that was early 60s.
Yeah.
So that's 30 years later almost, or over 30 years, it became recorded. So sometimes a song has to hang around for quite a long period.